Hey, everybody, this is Melissa Swader. We are inside the studio today with real talk, real business, and real people. I'm so excited. I have not been in the studio today or even here in such a long time. So I am so excited to be here. And this time we have the one and only Monica May-Dunn, the CEO, CFO with Arizona Escrow and Financial Corporation. So welcome to the studio.
Hi, Melissa. Thank you for having me.
So, you guys, I have to tell you, if you are not following Monica May-Dunn on LinkedIn, get on it like right now. Just click this link below. I'm just showing you right here her profile. You have to click up on that profile. Don't forget to also follow Arizona Escrow on LinkedIn. Click right here. You guys will be amazed about all the things that they're doing. So, I have to dive into some of the work that you've been doing over the last year. But for those of you who may not be familiar with Arizona Escrow or even what an escrow company could do for small business owners, commercial real estate, brokers, you work with so many different areas of business. And I really want to first, let's just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Arizona Escrow, and then we can kind of dive into the details after that, because I'm telling you all, there's a lot of details that have happened in the last year and a half, and we're going to get into that.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah.
Monica May-Dunn, CEO, CFO of Arizona Escrow and Financial Corporation. We are the largest independent escrow company in the state of Arizona, 100% female owned. I purchased the company in 2023. I started in 1990, and over my course of my career of 30 years, I've learned so much about escrow and business escrows as well as commercial. And we are out there and ready to help anybody who needs us as a neutral third party. You can just send us your LOI or your purchase agreement, and then we take it from there.
So it must feel nice to work with a company that can actually handle all the kind of nuances of the deal and be there to help, solve any problems that there might come up. There could be so many different stipulations or contingencies that might come along the way.
Exactly. We coordinate all the dates for you, and we keep track of everything. And we work with the lenders, attorneys, the brokers themselves, and or CPAs, financial planners.
Mm-hmm.
We are really that one-stop shop for these kind of transactions, mergers and acquisitions. We do stock sales, membership interests. And what people don't know is we've been around since 1976.
Yeah.
And we are very experienced. Like I said, I've been there since 1990. My president started in 1992. Our escrow administrator since 1994. We have the experience and the expertise you need.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's amazing. I mean, we're talking decades of this business being around. And by the way, y'all, if you are local to the Phoenix area, their office is beautiful. They're located right up on 16th Street, just north of Camelback. Mm-hmm. And what is it, Coulter?
It's just Missouri and 16th Street. We're at the Madison building.
Yes.
We're right off the 51. Very easy access.
Yes, and I know that building very well. For any of you guys who know me, y'all know that's the same building. But so let's get into this last year and a half. So like I said earlier before, CEO, woman-owned business.
Thank you.
That's got to feel good, like after working at
30 years
in your career for 30 years. Yes. And then finally you get to say, look, y'all, this is mine. This is mine.
Yes.
But if there's anyone out there, can you just tell everybody how it felt? Did you have reservations? Were you okay, do I take the risk?
Absolutely.
Is there reward if I take a risk, or were there things that were going through your mind in that regard when this was leading up to the opportunity?
Absolutely. So in 2020, that's really when my opportunity was approached, and I had to deal with COVID.
We all knew that was coming.
And whether or not I wanted to go ahead and go through with the purchase of the business. And it was a 3-year process. And I am so happy that you get in those modes. It's either, fight or flight?
Yeah.
So I am a fighter, and I knew that this business had so much value, and all of our business brokers and all of our customers that we deal with and our clients. And I just decided that yes, I definitely don't want to lose the momentum with this business, and everyone that I'd known and our careers and our employees, staff, and our whole entire team are just amazing. And I really want everyone to experience the customer service that we focus on at Arizona Escrow and Financial. And that is really the whole process, the client experience, and how we can help. These are life-changing sometimes transactions for people where they could be selling their lifelong business, and it's emotional. So my headphones keep coming. It's an emotional thing.
This is what happens when you do broadcasting. Inside the studio, all things can happen.
And it could be a business that someone has been running for their entire life. Like, I'm sure when it comes time when I sell, I know how hard I worked to keep the momentum of this business going for all these years. And yeah, you definitely, when you go to buy or sell a business, you want to make sure that all those things are handled in a timely and correct manner.
And can I just interject to say, for the client themselves, I mean, we're talking small business owners who might be, just selling off their asset, or maybe a new owner coming in to purchase the business. So we're talking, this is their personal investment, their business investments. You're throwing out sometimes millions of dollars in these transactions. So it can really be overwhelming process for the person who's, writing the check.
Yes.
And so to be able to work with a company like yours or their business broker, right? I mean, if on the buyer side, you would work with your business broker and the business broker would work with you, correct? Now, do you ever work directly with the owners themselves? Do they ever come to you and say, okay, we're looking to do this?
Yes. So we do have buyers and sellers that come to us without business brokers. We do recommend either an attorney or a business broker.
To read all the fine print?
Yes. A lot of times they could be a small business or they already know that like their manager is going to be buying their business. So they know the business. They've been doing it for so long. Just like when I bought Arizona Escrow Financial, I'd been at the business for so long.
Right.
So that was a different process. As far as like mergers and acquisitions, those can be very, very time consuming and high dollar amounts. Right. And also the stock purchase agreement that we have for, we have partners that are in business together and the other partner buys, they buy each other out. So we handle all of those kind of things.
And if you, like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, check out their LinkedIn page and make sure if you guys are in Instagram, hit that like button on Arizona Escrow and follow on Facebook. As you guys know, there's different audiences on different platforms. We definitely like to share the updates and all the career news on all of the platforms they have. So there's another thing that you have is you have a business bulletin.
Yes.
And that's also on LinkedIn. So you can subscribe and get some, real-time updates. Is it every month?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Business Bulletin. What is that for the people on LinkedIn or anyone who might be interested in?
We try to put some content in that bulletin that is either newsworthy or informational, that things that could be happening in Arizona or outside Arizona. And so we try to give our customers or are the recipients of the bulletin,
which could be both.
Yeah, just some information that they might find useful.
And I could keep going. So on her business bulletin, there is like valuable content on there. And I see some newsletters sometimes that come over and there's like, it just keeps going and going and going and going. And quite frankly, she has so much news. If they are everywhere. I mean, one day they're in the West Valley at some event. The next, 4 hours later, they're taking pictures at the Biltmore. Or the next day they're in freaking Tucson. Yes. I mean, their newsletter could be just filled at capacity with all the things that they're doing. So that's why it's really important to make sure you just tune in, stay on their page and get the latest updates, because it really is informative to really understand what escrow and the financial side of things are as well, because you do a lot more within your business. Give us an example of some of the other things, like you do holdings and things.
Holding and disbursement accounts is something unique. We have a niche for that business part. So if you have any kind of a transaction that it's not a purchase of a business or land or commercial building, it could be a holding and disbursement account. So let's say, we've done horses, we've done antique cars. What we do is we hold the title, we hold the funds in escrow until transportation or until the buyer receives the product or whatever that is, and then we release based on the party's instructions.
To make sure they're actually paying for a car and they're getting a car.
Yes.
In the sure way of saying things, right?
It's such a unique product that we can customize it. We do have a lot of settlement escrows. So if you're an attorney and there's a divorce settlement and the people have sold their house, the title company will send us the funds and we will hold those funds until the court order is finalized, and then we follow the strict instructions of the court order. It's
so funny because I saw on Instagram, this something just triggered. I saw on Instagram they have all these ads like, don't just be a realtor, be a divorce realtor. And they're so dramatic about it. And I thought, and the light bulbs go off. And I'm like,
I haven't seen that.
I bet you that is a huge business. No offense to the divorce rate. But with that being said, it just reminds me, because what happens if you have all these assets,
right?
And you are having to, split these assets. Where does that come in? And then I thought of Arizona Escrow, and that's exactly what you would help these attorneys or anyone.
And each individual have their attorneys or their counsel, but to have it in a neutral place. That's why we handle those transactions, and it's a big part of our business.
Yeah. So let's talk about, we're going to shift because now we're going to talk about Monica herself. Okay. So recently, so in the beginning of the year, I was lucky enough to be a guest at the Red Awards. This is a local media company here. AZ Big Media throws what's called the Red Awards, and Arizona Escrow was the floral sponsor for that event earlier this year. And there's so much development here in the state of Arizona. I mean, just honestly, some of the recipients who were acknowledged for their developments, the architecture, design, things like that. It was just really special. But I look back to the Red Awards earlier in the year, and it seems like a lifetime ago. And I mean, it's only probably February, maybe March. Yeah. And the things that she's done already since then has been amazing. So let's just break it down. She's like, oh my gosh. So you were also just recently named the 2024, one of the women of influence in Arizona. So the most influential woman in Arizona, Miss Monica May-Dunn.
Thank you very much. It's definitely an honor. And being the most influential in commercial real estate 2024, it was such an honor. And the event that they had last month at Chateau Lux was amazing.
And this is there was a packed room. It was sold out, first of all. It was sold out. And I really loved, all the ladies, they were able to bring their families up on stage and take some photos. Yes. And I thought it was really classic. This is funny. Everybody kind of, took their position, hugged, with their family, or even the people that work, some of your team. And, Michael Gossi, he's great. He's the editor for AZRE magazine, and and she was on the cover of that, by the way. She was also on the cover.
That was the May-June edition.
That was and that was another, cover. And he's like, wait, Monica, stop. He's like, come back. And, he's like 6'4", yes. And he asked her, he goes, if you guys all complain about commuting, wait till you hear this. Where do you come from? And she's like, on her tippy toe, she's like,
trying to lean into the mic.
She's like, Yuma, Arizona. And she walks away. She's like, for 25 years.
Yeah.
It was fun. So let's talk about that. You literally went all this started, you were driving from
Yes.
Yuma. Okay, first of all, if you don't know where Yuma is, how far is that?
Yuma, Arizona is 3 hours.
I'm like head slap right here in the forehead.
Well, in 2000, I moved to Yuma, Arizona, and our founder, Don Graham, I'd been with the company 10 years, and he said, I don't want to lose you, so can you please, let's work something out. So we set up probably one of the first VPNs, secure networks.
Back in the day when it all started. Yeah.
And I was in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I remoted Monday and Friday. So I usually remote on Mondays, but I am in the office Tuesday through Friday. I make one 3-hour trip once a week. And I've been doing that for the past 4 years. So 20 years, I was 3 days a week. And then
that's a lot of miles on that card. Let me tell you. But that's like what dedication and commitment was, because at the end of the day, you just loved your career. That's something that you just didn't want to.
I am passionate about Arizona Escrow.
Yeah.
It is my lifelong dream. And just to be an entrepreneur, and this company is fabulous, and my team members are amazing. And
I know, I love their team. Like mostly all women, and then you throw in Bobby. Like,
Bobby.
Bobby's like, I have the greatest job ever. But so this is like really like incredible that you drove all the way. And like we said, she was like on the cover with a few other women on that cover. And just before that, she was also, featured in, I'm just going to throw mine out there. If you guys are not familiar with Thrive, that is our digital publication for the women in commercial real estate, which I founded back in early 2020. And then we really publicly launched in the summer of 2020. And as we've grown, we've kind of evolved. We get bigger and bigger, just like any other company, any other organization. We grow. We find ways to keep our brand alive. And so earlier this year, I also launched the online Thrive magazine, which is behind every woman. It's Thrive Behind Everyone. So make sure you check out our Women in Commercial Real Estate #W Women in CRE. And you can check out our Thrive subscription there too. I think we have maybe 720 subscribers already. So considering
it's a great online magazine.
And she's in that one too. So she has been a really great sponsor for the Women in CRE. So I really want to just thank you for really supporting us, and our sponsors really help us really grow. So with that being said, I'm going to take just a 30-second break to tell you a little bit about the Women in CRE. I'll be right back. In 2021, we rebranded. We developed our new website to highlight the women in commercial real estate from all across the country. We developed our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X. I've grown to almost 1,000 members on our main Facebook group, right on our LinkedIn page. Make sure you subscribe. You can also read it right from our website. Celebrating the women in CRE. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, our community is here to inspire and encourage you. We are stronger together. Join us, womenincre.com. All right, guys, we're back right away. Only a 30-second break to let you know a little bit about the Women in Commercial Real Estate. But speaking of women, we'll get back to Monica. And so I see that you and your team, you guys are always involved. Speaking of sponsorships, not only do you sponsor the Women in CRE, but you've sponsored so many different organizations out there. So what is your vision? Like, what is your take on your community involvement? Like, what is it that you feel compelled, or that just you gravitate to certain organizations? Tell me about that.
But no, I really want to give back, for so many years. Now I'm able to, in the past year and a half, focusing on, like CCIM, the RMA, Amanda Hope.
Yes.
There's so many organizations that we can help. And just sponsoring, just certain events, you're giving back. And you're also able to get out there and get your brand and your voice about what you do and what you believe in. And I'm all about giving back to the community.
And I totally agree with that. But like I said, she's like, they're one time they're in West Valley, and the next thing you know, they're in the North Valley, and the next time they're in Tucson. I mean, literally, you are so involved. And, going back to like, CCIM and, some of these organizations like Amanda Hope, that's a wonderful organization. But it also gives you an opportunity to really be the face of your business too.
Right.
It's been, say a year and a half now since you've been like sole owner.
Yes.
Or give or take.
Yes.
So with that being said, there are a lot of owners that just don't get out. They just don't like to be out in the public. They're not really interacting with the community. I really have so much respect for the people who not only own their businesses, but they're also the face of their business. Yes. And I can honestly say you really are the face of your business. And I mean like from all over the state of Arizona. So moving forward, we're looking into already approaching the fourth quarter, going into 2025. I know that you still have some events, like you have one, I think, tomorrow.
So tomorrow night I'm on a panel at Integro Bank, and that's a Women in Leadership panel. And then we are exhibitors in October for the Art Rent TV conference.
Yes.
And then I'm local first. I'm in a panel October 16th. And it just there's so much that goes on.
I think she's going in her head. She's like, "Oh my God, is there any more that I have?" Trust me. Oh, and then you have your big one in December.
So our open house.
I'm like, we can't forget the big one.
Our holiday party and our open house to really thank our customers and our clients is December 3rd from 4 to 7 at our office at the Madison.
And that I went to that last year. I was on crutches. So it'll be nice not having to go to these events, on my crutches.
Yes.
But yeah, so you're just staying busy. And I think there's a couple other things I really wanted to touch on. Okay. And is there anything that you want to share about?
Well, about a year ago, I started a Practical and Positive podcast. Yes. So
speaking of which,
I have been recording one a month. So this will be my 12th episode that'll be coming out.
Wow, I felt good, like the dozen, like the dirty dozen.
And Melissa Swader is going to be my guest on the 12th podcast.
This is exciting. So let's talk about the Practical and Positive podcast. What is it? If anyone's ever not seen it, you can actually go to ArizonaEscrow.com. There is a landing page link right on there that will give you all of the episodes, right. And you can also listen to the podcast on
Spotify, all iTunes, Audible. You just have to put in Practical and Positive Leadership, and it should be there.
So, tell us a little bit about it. What was your vision behind it? Why did you start it? Who are your guests?
Yes. So, I am a lifelong learner, and I love to read. And in my 3-hour trips in the car, I do listen to a lot of books. So, I usually I give my guests a list of books, John Gordon, Patrick Lencioni, a lot of leadership books, if they don't specifically have one that they want to do. And we just talk about different leadership styles.
Okay.
And those books kind of give us a basis on, an outline on topics that we can talk about and how to deal with certain situations with your employees and staff.
And some of them are authors.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You've had authors on your
I have, Melissa has her book.
Yes.
One Yellow Brick, and she is going to be my 12th. And I have had business leaders, business brokers, bankers, different people from just a lot of business leaders.
Upper level
C-suite
leadership, yeah.
Yes.
And speaking of book, I don't know if y'all know this. And again, back to LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. If you are following these pages, you're always going to be current on their news. So Monica was recently a contributing author in another book. So she herself is a contributing author.
Yes, I'm a contributing author in Mel Carr's compilation of Six Figure Chicks, Phoenix. So this is the second edition. So the first Six Figure Chicks book that she put together is Women Throughout the United States. This is just 16 women from Phoenix. So it came out, you can get it on Amazon. The Kindle version is out.
Yeah.
And on November 8th, we'll be launching the actual book. So
the paperback. And in each of these 16 women, they basically had an opportunity to write about their journey, about, where they started, why they are six-figure chicks, whether it be metaphorically or just talking about the success and the commitment to their own careers, and maybe just offering a little bit of advice along the way.
Right.
We don't really know what anyone else wrote about their journey, but that'll be a nice opportunity.
It's an excellent book.
Yeah.
It also gives people an idea. I wish I would have had something like this to know that I wasn't the only one going through these different obstacles.
Right.
And having the journey that I've had over the past 30 years, it was fantastic. All the women in there are wonderful, and their stories are, we all have a lot to say.
Yes. And you guys all know this, as cliche it is, but, for women, they said it never would be easy, for women in business, but it definitely is worth it for sure. A lot of the rewards that we as women in business or business owners and entrepreneurs, we really get to share those stories along the way and really help. And that is honestly what One Yellow Brick is about for my own book is, it really is about inspiration. And although I do talk about effective marketing strategies and that do align with my brand for Ruby Red Media and my agency, I really wanted to share my story. So, and I even recorded my audiobook, and I was people always hire these narrators. I wanted to be my own voice to my own book because it was my story.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important for everyone who's out there to just get out there online and share your story. I mean, her story literally after 30 years, think about this, y'all. She's been in business in this career for 30 years and she's just starting.
Yes.
I mean, this is the no matter how much experience she has, and she said it herself, y'all, she's a lifetime learner. But aren't we all? We're all lifetime learners, right?
Yeah.
Everybody says you're the expert, but you'd be surprised. I don't always know all the answers to marketing questions because there are just things that, because technology has evolved, there are so many different things out there that I can give you, the intel on what I know, what our experiences are with our clients, with my agency. But at the end of the day, my agency's still growing too, just the same way Arizona Escrow is.
Absolutely.
I mean, you said something about your holdings. So there's some things that she can do in the state of Arizona, and there's some other things that you can actually do.
Right. So asset sales are just strictly Arizona.
Right.
But holding and disbursement accounts can be throughout the United States.
So that's a good thing to know. So again, it goes back to somebody you trust, and that if you are, attorneys out there or yeah, because I was going to say it for her, but I'll let her say it in her own words. What would be your ideal clients? Who would be the people that would want to use you?
Ideal clients are usually attorneys, business brokers, or really any realtor, even a commercial real estate person who has a building, a business, vacant land. Those, as long as they have that purchase contract or a letter of intent.
Okay.
We really, we try to help as much as we can. Legally, we can't give them any advice, but what direction to go in if they don't have counsel.
Okay. So you all have heard it right here in the studio. This is why it's always real talk, real business with real people, because we really like to get personal. We really like to share our honest take on our business and perspective. And not only that, just our visions and, what we want, for our brand. Yes. So let's just kind of end this on a real positive note. What would you say, leading into 2025, do you have any idea in terms of what you want to keep going, what you want to keep doing?
Well, our vision at Arizona Escrow is still to continue to grow as we have and to give back to the community and stay involved. That's really important to me. Like I said, I spent more than half my life at Arizona Escrow before I purchased the company. And it's important to me to get out there as the face of the company.
Well, this is so exciting. I really appreciate you coming into the studio today. I've, been working with Monica for a while. She's just been really supportive over all the things that we're doing on the Women Increase side and getting to work with her, throughout the week and attending events together and being invited to some of these events together. It's just been wonderful, really, in the last several months to see you, literally, when the reason why I created the magazine Thrive is because really, honestly, it's the women who are thriving out there because they're striving to thrive out there.
I love it.
It's the ones who say, you know what? When, I wake up in the morning and, the devil hears that sound, they better run. It's kind of like that. Your mentality is like, I wake up every morning and go, you know what, I'm going to crush it today. And for anyone out there who has any ever doubt that that something might be holding you back, just take a little step back and breathe about it and remember why you're doing it. Remind yourself of why you're going through all the hardship and even maybe heartache. And in my case, maybe during the time I was writing my book, the crown and, diet that I drank to get through the long days. So there's always an answer. There's always, a resolution to something. You just got to figure out what that is. But there are solutions out there. Don't ever give up. So if you can say one thing to anyone who might be considering entrepreneurship or just a woman out there who really, since you work with a lot of women too, give them some sort of advice about that.
Well, I definitely, women are naturally better leaders.
Boom,
we are really good at multitasking and handling tough situations in all areas, with motherhood and running a business and trying to juggle a lot of things.
It's a balance.
But my advice is definitely don't get discouraged. Keep trying, because every little failure or every little bump in the road is something you're gonna learn something from that. And I highly recommend everyone read Melissa's book.
Aww.
When I listened to it, I've been following a lot, almost everything, I hope everything, on your personal brand and how important it is to get out there and in your community, help people. Other people need to be lifted up. I love working with other young women and showing them, giving them the guidance on what the next step is in their career.
That's it. So surround yourself with the right people. Find those there's a difference between influencers and influential people. And sometimes they could be one and the same. But finding people that can help you and guide you, those are influential people who can really offer that feedback based on their own experiences and their struggles. So I really just commend and applaud all the things that you're doing with Arizona Escrow. You have such an amazing team. This group of people, if you don't know her, well, again, make sure you link up with her personal professional page on LinkedIn, because you'll just really get to learn a lot more about her personally. And then, of course, Arizona Escrow on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. I'm going to throw all the links, not only probably shooting it off the whole time, throwing in graphics later. But you can definitely look in the comments on any of our platforms, because all her information will be there. So just really happy to have you in the studio today. And thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you, Melissa.
All right. Always keeping it real here inside the studio, y'all. Make sure you keep it real out there. Stay positive, practical, and positive. And that's next. I'll talk to you guys later. See you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching my podcast, Real Talk, Real Business, Real People. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please be sure to hit that follow button on my social media pages and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Melissa Swader AZ. Until next time.